We're a company that's 33 years old. We've had a lot of time to practice. We know what it takes to build a home, but more importantly, we're just as committed to that house being done correctly as that customer is in terms of getting a home that's done correctly. I'm Michael Brown. I'm the President and CEO of Trico Homes. We've won a number of builders awards in terms of recognized by our peers, but probably bigger than that, we've won a number of awards that recognize our staff. One of the awards that we most recently received was Best Workplaces for Giving Back. And for them to focus on what we do for our community, that really, it speaks to Trico because, doing well by doing good, it means that we can be successful as a company, but our community needs to be successful at the same time. Obviously we work on a number of homes, but for that customer, this is a huge investment. This is a big decision. And so we work very closely with the customer throughout the build process so that when they get to the end of the day, they can be just as proud of the house as we are. As a leader in the home building industry, we have a responsibility and we really focus on quality. When you get into that leadership position, you have to aspire and you have to work towards something. And we're constantly looking at improvements so that our home can be that much more higher quality. I know myself, I'm an owner of a Trico home, and I was blown away when I moved in terms of just how efficient the home is, how my electrical bill dropped down, and this coming from a home that was like 10 years ago. You can see the quality of the home today is that much higher, but I like to believe that we as Trico are one of the ones that are pushing that. When you sell a house to a customer, it's a promise. And it's important that you're trustworthy. It's important that you're transparent. The worst thing that can happen is we get to the end of the day, we've built the home, you've taken a possession, you bring your family members over, or your friends over, and you're disappointed. We don't want that. We want you to have a really good feeling about that experience. The big change that I'm seeing in terms of what buyers are looking for, first of all, when they're buying a home, it's not Mike Brown's buying a home. It's Mike Brown's family's buying a home. So the family members are going to want to be part of the process. They want to pick the backsplash. They want to pick the carpet. They want to pick the flooring. They want to see what's in the bathroom. Second thing is that who's in that family has really changed, and it's changed over the last number of years. So that family members, we have a multi-generational family, especially with a lot of our new Canadians that are coming in. And I give them a lot of credit. They're looking at building homes, not just for their generation, but the generations to come, as well as the generation before them. And that's been a huge shift. They're not looking at home and saying, well, we're gonna take grandma, we're gonna put her in the basement somewhere. It's like, well, no, we want grandma on the main floor. We want her to have access. She's the center. Sometimes that person is making the meals for the family. It's an integrated family, and our homes need to really meet that. Families want to have a home that's going to stand the test of time. And with that, they also know they maybe have aging parents. So they need to have a space for those aging parents to come in. And that flexibility in the plan is really critical to the consumer of today. So oftentimes the way that shows up in terms of that versatility is secondary suites. So secondary suites is where you actually have a separate living unit in the basement. It's not lost on us that the price of a house is very expensive. And so customers are looking at different ways. How can I meet my mortgage payments? And those secondary suites are coming into play. If I'm buying a home, I'm looking at, okay, yes, I want to have a house that's really pretty, meets my needs today, but it needs to stand the test of time. And the higher the quality of the material, the more time that house is going to stand up for. And you're not in a position where, 1 year after moving in, you have to repaint all the walls. Or you're seeing that your flooring or your tiling starting to fall apart, or you're seeing cracks in your vanity. Those are all things as a customer, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years out, they want to know that it's still a good quality home because they still want to be proud of that home. I just think about us at Trico is it's not about the consumer paying for that. We just build that into our homes, and we think that our prices are actually still incredibly competitive to the rest of the market, but we do feel we build a higher quality home than many other builders. A home today, especially homes that we're involved in, they're incredibly efficient. And as a result, you keep your costs down, and then your impact on the environment is a lot less. The other piece people are looking at is they want to do solar panel. They're looking at chargers in the garage. Those are all things that we pre-wire into our homes. So when the consumer comes in and says, I want to do a solar panel, they can do it. They want an electric car, they can do it. We work really hard with our team to be on the edge, figuring out what's actually coming down the pipe. But I can tell you, we don't put something in our house until we trust that it's going to work. The first thing you'll notice when you walk in is the size of the windows. We live in an amazing part of the world where it's blue sky much of the year. The opportunity to take in what's outside and bring it in is great. And I'm very proud of the window package we offer. And our customers oftentimes talk to us about our windows package. Second thing is just ease of use of the house. And I'll give you an example. I'm a fairly big guy, and when I'm going up the stairs, to have a little deeper stair makes a huge difference for a customer. And then the final piece is the kitchen. Everybody lives in the kitchen. When you go and you see somebody that's showing a house, they'll take you, I want to show you my kitchen. We offer a higher spec than many of our competitors do. And what that means is it's a higher quality kitchen. So in terms of where the dollars are putting, they're actually going to have something they're that much more proud of, and it's going to stand up through the test of time. One of the interesting things I've found since I've been at Trico is the amount of people that go through the Trico experience that want to go through it again. We are so fortunate that we've had so many customers come back to us and say, hey, I had a really good experience doing this lane home. I'm now time for a front garage home, or I was in a condo, I moved up to lane home. They're coming back to us, and we're always love to see those folks because it's such a positive experience on their part, and it's also a positive experience on our part.